I have to admit, I was a little surprised when I got the call. It's quite an honor and a privilege, and what a wonderful collection of athletes, coaches, and important folks at West Point. But then I thought about it a little bit, and in some ways, although I may not be in any of the record books for my time there as a basketball player, I do represent thousands of athletes that have come through West Point and had the privilege and opportunity to participate there. And when I think about Mission First, that's really what it's all about. It's giving the opportunity to those thousands of athletes that come to West Point, not only for the great leadership training that's happening in the classroom and out in the field, but also what's happening in the sports and on the teams that they're on. It gave me a couple things early on in my life in realizing, first, that I had a real passion for leadership, and two, what a privilege it was to have the opportunity to lead men and women in the pursuit of just about anything, whether it was in the military or certainly later on in the business world. Now, I think as far as particular leadership lessons, there are quite a few. So a couple things, though, that I thought both the combination of being at West Point as well as being on the basketball team provided me was first and foremost an understanding of what we're really playing for. And what I mean by that is learning that what we show up to do every day and what we're working hard to achieve is less about the fame, the fortune, less about the paycheck, and much more about one another. And playing for each other is a really important lesson that I got at West Point that's helped me a lot in business. When you can help teams understand that when they play for each other, and they don't want to let one another down, and they're going to do what it takes to make sure that they're living up to the expectations that their teammates have and that other people have on the team together, that's when I think you unlock extraordinary results. And that was a great lesson that I picked up very early at West Point, as well as being part of the basketball team and part of the basketball family. Clearly, I'm excited to have moved back near West Point after a lot of years living out of the country and other parts of the United States. This gives me a chance to come back and on a regular basis be part of what's going on at West Point, whether that's with the basketball program, or I also have been lucky enough to have two nephews that have both gone to West Point, one graduated and one that's still there. So that kind of keeps me close to the ground with what's going on with the cadets, as well as being very involved in what's going on with the basketball program. And I'm excited about what's happening there. Again, this culture and this understanding of winning really feels like it's building momentum at West Point. And I think that's an important part of what we're setting out to achieve in developing leaders. I feel grateful every day that I had the opportunity to be part of the legacy that is West Point. And I think part of what makes West Point great is the responsibility that the graduates have of giving back. Part of what always made it special to me was the combination of the cadets that I was at school with, as well as the people that were there either coaching or the grads or alumni that were giving back. And in that, I think you get a unique experience versus a lot of other institutions in the country. And so that responsibility weighs heavy, but it is a pleasant burden to have, as I really love all of my time and always find it inspiring and motivating to engage with cadets at West Point.